Hi everyone, we are here today doing a Marmalade Facebook Live. I'm here with Cherie Denham, Preserving Queen, and we're going to be doing some Seville orange marmalade. This is a recipe that is so easy, you can walk away from it, you don't have all the hot splutters of sugar. I know that when you've got kids running around, you don't want all of this hot sugar running everywhere. So, we're using the Cook Expert today. So this is a thermal bowl that you get with the Cook Expert. You also get this food processor attachment. So this just comes right off and you can put your metal bowl right onto the base. So we're lucky enough today to have two machines with us. This is a red one and a satin one. We also do it in black. So we're going to start with the food processor to cut up our peel, and we're going to put it all into the thermo bowl and add some sugar, and it's going to start smelling really lovely. So let's get started. Are you ready?
Yeah, all good.
So I've washed these oranges, and these are the Seville orange marmalade oranges, but you can use any kind of marmalade oranges that you can get your hands on. And I always think that the rougher the skin, the better for a marmalade. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, because it means that it's a younger fruit, so the rind will slice up better for you, especially
nice and soft.
Yeah, and especially the way Naya's going to show you how to do that through the machine. Very handy.
So we're going to take the little buttons off the top of the oranges. So we just take them off because we don't want them in our marmalade. And we're going to cut these oranges in half. And as you can see, inside of these oranges, there's lots of pips, and these are really good for the pectins.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So Cherie's going to use this juicer. We're going to juice all of the oranges. So if I just leave them for you, I'll keep.
And can I just say to you, I know this might sound like teaching your grandmother to suck eggs, but with these juicers, you turn them upside down so that the orange is like this, and then squeeze, because otherwise you just won't get any juice out of them. A favourite of my husband's was to squeeze it the wrong way, and there was no juice whatsoever. Okay, so let's get those all in there.
Get as much juice out as possible, but what we are going to do is scoop out all of the leftovers insides of these peels and put them into a muslin cloth, so that when it's popped into our water and our peel, all of that pectin starts to release, and we're going to squeeze it back into our jam or our marmalade so that it becomes nice and thick and set by the end. So just keep going with this.
They smell fantastic. The wonderful thing about Seville oranges to me is the smell. Such a strong citrusy flavour.
Yeah, they're quite sour, aren't they? Which is really nice when you add all of that sugar, because we're going to be adding about 1.5 kilos of sugar, and it sounds like a lot, but it really helps to set your marmalade at the end, and it just balances the sourness of these oranges. So lovely. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to use a spoon to scoop out all of the pith and pips, and don't worry if you leave some in there, because it will just melt away in the hot sugar. So I've got a bowl here, and I've just put a muslin cloth over it. And so I'm going to fill up this bowl with this muslin cloth with all of these pips and pith.
And can I just ask you, your muslin, where did you get that one from?
So you can get these online, just anywhere, just type into Google muslin cloth or jam cloths. And so these were really quite inexpensive, to be honest. And it's a really nice way of being able to keep your peel in your marmalade at the same time as not getting all your pips in and all of
Okay, because I think I might need to invest in some new ones, because my eldest son is now almost 18, and I'm still using the ones that the spares that we had when he was a baby. But the lovely thing about these ones, that's a true story, but the lovely thing about these ones is, I don't know if you can see here, they've got a seam on them, okay? And to me that's a really good thing, because otherwise if the cloth doesn't have a seam, all the little frayed bits of thread can go in and through your marmalade. So I love these. This is a really great idea, these ones.
They keep it quite neat.
Yeah.
So you're using a knife to take out your pip, whereas I'm using a spoon because I find it easier. So do you find a knife?
I think for me, I just go along between the fruit, the actual flesh, and the side there, and then I just put my thumb down and just peel the rest of it all away. But a spoon is very good because you can scrape away all of that pith, because that is what helps you to set your marmalade, all of that pectin in there.
We'll get out of there. So, whilst I let Cherie finish doing this for me, I'm going to start to cut all of my peel in the food processor. So I don't know about you, Cherie, how do you usually do it before you had a food processor?
Oh my word, so this is completely ingenious. Naya taught me this trick, but what I used to do was cut my peas in half and stack them up on top of each other and use a very sharp serrated knife by hand to cut them. Now, you can also, well, you probably say this now, but you can also just put the whole lot into the Magimix and chop it all up, but I like shreds in my marmalade rather than
I like these to be nice neat shreds.
Yes, exactly.
So with the food processor, you get this spindle, so we put this on and it fits quite nicely on there, and then you get these blades, so you get 4 blades. I'm using the 4mm slicing blade, and that's because I want quite a thick cut. But you can use the 2mm if you want a thinner cut to your peel and your marmalade. So that's gone on, and we'll put the lid back on. You also get grating discs. Have you used the grating discs to do cheese and things?
Yeah, and then I freeze all of the cheese.
That's a really good idea. So I love to just get ahead sometimes, and using my food processor, you can grate blocks of cheese in seconds, less than 10 seconds. So to start with the peels, what we're going to do is we're going to cut them in half.
Can I give a top tip about cheese? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I just have to tell you this because, so what Naya was saying about the cheese, you know, you can buy cheese in the supermarkets that it's already grated. Well, that's all covered in a layer of starch. So actually doing it all in the Magimix makes it so much more natural, and then put it in your freezer and in a Tupperware, whatever, and just take out handfuls as you need it. Such better idea.
Well, if it's in my house, it won't last. It will definitely be in the fridge. It won't need to go in the freezer. Okay, so I've just gathered a few bits of peel together, and I'm going to put them into the feed tube. So you can do this lengthways, or you can do them upright or lengthways, and it just depends how long you like your peel to be. So I'll use the pusher to push down my peel. And so over here, you might have noticed that it already goes to food processor. Oh, so it moves straight over to food processor when you put the food processor attachment on. So all I'm going to do is press OK, and I'm going to pulse it until all my peel has gone through. And we just keep repeating until we've done all of our peel.
Ingenious. So can I do the lemon?
Yes.
So we're going to add lemon in here as well, because lemons are full of pectin, so they really help with the setting as well. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the juice out of there, put all the pips and seeds, whatever, into this. And if you want to, you can add the lemon zest as well. You can put it through your Magimix as well for a bit of St. Clement's marmalade if you fancy it.
You do lots of different types of marmalades, don't you?
Yes, so I do blood orange, grapefruit with...
grapefruit, I love that.
So nice, with Seville orange and lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves. So if you go to do those sorts of recipes, you put all of your botanics or all of your flavourings in with your pith, and then it just flavours it all beautifully.
Okay, very nice. Keep going next. So I'm literally pressing the pulse button for 2 seconds, and these are just going straight through. So all of these are going to be done within 3 minutes, whereas this would usually take me about half an hour to cut them all up.
Easily, and your fingers get real wrinkly because of the juice. But I have to say as well, at home I have got a juicer as well. That's a citrus press that is fantastic to use. It goes with the Cook Expert. So if you make lots of marmalade, the citrus press is a very handy thing to get rid of, not to get rid of, but to use all your juice, get all of your juice.
To get as much out of it as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, so last lot of peel going into the food processor. Perfect. Perfect, so I'll just take this off. So if you get any little bits left over, like quite big bits, you can just choose to chop them up with a knife. So if I show you some of these strands that we've got, so I don't know if you can see that, yeah? So what we're gonna do with those and our juice is we're gonna pop them all into this metal bowl that we have. So this is our thermal bowl that goes onto the base of our Cook Expert. So I'm gonna put all of this peel straight in. And you sometimes soak yours overnight, don't you, your peel?
Yes.
And
yeah, it has to be really soft, otherwise when you add your sugar and if the peel isn't cooked for long enough, you get a really candied shred rather than a really soft and juicy shred.
Okay, so take this away.
Take this away.
Yeah. So this is going to fit straight onto here, just like the food processor does. And we're going to top this up with water. So thank you, Cherie. So this is 1.3 litres of water. And cold, just put it in cold. And this is going to allow us to soften our peel up. And when I first made this recipe, I was surprised that I just expected the sugar, the water, the peel to all go in at the same time. Whereas doing it this way allows that peel to get really nice and soft before it starts to candy itself with the sugar going in. So if you just pop them to the side. So with this muslin cloth, now because we put it in a bowl so it's all nice and clean, so we're going to take all of the corners up and just do a nice little tie. So that's going to keep all of those pips inside and make sure that they don't fall into our marmalade because we don't want to be eating the pips.
Right.
So we put this into the bowl, but to make sure that the blade at the bottom doesn't catch your muslin and ruin it, we leave a little bit of the cloth on the side and we fasten the lid on. So that's going to stay always above the blade, so it's not going to catch it and make holes in it. And I've already taken the cap off. So the cap goes on like this, but we're taking it off because we want all of that water to evaporate because we don't want all of that water in there. So we will go to expert mode, press OK, and for the first part, we're going to put this up to 1 hour and 15 minutes.
I just love this. I just thought this is ingenious. I made it yesterday and it works so beautifully, so well.
So we're going to have it on speed 1A. So 1A just means alternating. So it will spin and then it will stop. And if we put it on, if it was continuously stirring, then our problem that we might get is you might just get all of your peel that you've really nicely cut up in your food processor might chop down to a smaller sort of piece. Which, if that's what you like, then that's absolutely fine. But I quite like there to still be a few strands in there because I personally quite like it. But it's all about what you want to do and how you like your marmalade. So we're putting it on 1A and we're putting it up to 110 degrees. And this is going to get up to a nice temperature so that we can evaporate some water away. Perfect, so I just press auto. And so that's going, it's got all of the nice juice from the oranges, the juice from the lemon, and all of that pectin is going to start to release itself from all of the pith and the pips that we put in the muslin cloth. So as that's going, this is one that's already been going. So this is already at the hour and 15 minute stage. So Cherie, if you want to have a look. So we can take that off. And so we can remove this muslin cloth and we'll put it in a bowl. So at this point, it's going to be quite hot. So don't attempt to squeeze it out. You sometimes use marigolds, some very
new marigolds now. Definitely not saying ones I do the washing up with, but definitely new ones, and you can squeeze all that pectin out. Then it does need to be warm, doesn't it? Not hot, but warm. Otherwise, it won't run as smoothly.
Yeah, you don't want it to be super cold because all your pectin is going to be super stiff. Yeah. So if I just show you this now, you can see that the water has turned a murky sort of orange colour because it's taken on all of those flavours from the pith. So we're going to put that back on, and we're going to now add a ginormous amount of sugar. So this is jam sugar, so it actually has pectin incorporated inside it, and that's what's going to help to get our nice set jelly to our marmalade. So we put the lid back on. Oh, sorry. And then up from that side. On, perfect. And then if Cherie, you could put it on to expert mode for me.
So when I was using I can't see. So yesterday whenever I was making mine, I didn't have enough jam sugar. Okay, so I was able to use half jam sugar, half granulated, which worked a treat, and I said to Naya, would that be all right to do it? And because jam sugar also, it can be quite an expensive sugar, can't it? Because it's got added pectin in it, so it just makes you feel as well more secure that your jam, your marmalade, whatever, is going to set. So you can use half and half if you want to. Yeah. And preserving sugars, that's a different thing, isn't it? Preserving sugar has got bigger crystals, so it doesn't have pectin cooked into the sugar. So jam sugar is a great one to use.
Yeah. So make sure you do. You look when you go to the shops. So you might make sure you get the right sugar. But there's always different things you can do. So you can get added pectin if you don't have any jam sugar. You can just get added pectin to add to your granulated. So it is really easy, but this marmalade is only 4 ingredients. So you have your oranges, your lemon, and your sugar, and then some water. So it's as simple as possible. So actually on this machine, so we're going to put the heat up. So we've used expert mode, so I'm just going to stop it. So we've used expert mode, so we're going to put it up to 45 minutes. So, perfect.
So nice.
We're going to bring it back down to 1A because we want to keep it at alternate stirring so that we're not cutting up all that peel because it's got nice and soft now. And then we're going to move to the temperature, and we're going to put that up to 120. Now, changing the temperature to a little bit higher than we had it before because we want the sugar to reach a certain temperature to make sure that it sets and so that you have a really nice thick marmalade. So we'll press auto on that. So yeah, so now this is going to go, and we're going to let that go for another 45 minutes. So if we move over to, if you can just grab that other marmalade. So if we move to this one is one that we've already done, and so this is what it will look like after 45 minutes. If I just show you. So it's turned really deep colour now, and it's now looking like more of a marmalade. So if we grab the other pectin, so this is the pectin that we took out of this bowl 45 minutes ago. So it's now a lot cooler, and so I'm going to squeeze that in with my hands. Like we said, you can use some gloves if you feel like it's too hot for you. You can see how thick.
It's fantastic stuff.
That's coming out, and that just is, it's a really easy way of adding your pectin rather than
definitely
pectin on top.
And the wonderful thing about making your marmalade in the Cook Expert is that with that 1A that you use, that I noticed yesterday, it keeps it moving all the time, so you know that your sugar's dissolving all the time, because if your sugar isn't dissolved properly or enough whenever you start to boil it, what happens is it all crystallizes, and you won't get rid of that crystallization, and as you jar it, your marmalade will start to go white. So this is brilliant method, brilliant way to use it. And then this one is for that one.
So we'll put this back on, and we just put this on for another 5 minutes just to incorporate that pectin. So we go to expert mode again. Perfect, we're already there, so I'll just get back. Okay, so it's 5 minutes, and we'll do it on speed 1A again, and keep it at 120 degrees.
You could add a wee drop of whiskey at that point, couldn't you?
Yes.
Just a few mils, just like 100 mils.
Have you done that before?
Whenever when we were went on holiday up to the Northampton coast, we were always allowed one thing each to bring that we could buy at the shop down there. And it was there was the most gorgeous marmalade, and there was whiskey in it. I think it was from Bushmills, from the distillery. Oh, it was so nice, and it was dark, and it was just childhood memories.
That's the one that you'd get, the whiskey marmalade.
It was so nice. I mean, as a child. Yeah.
So this bowl will never get super hot. It will be warm to the touch, but it will never get super hot because this is a double walled bowl. So there's a bit of air in between it, just like a thermal flask. So that if you've got kids running around, like we said, or you're just like very careful about burning yourself, this will never get too hot. So that's a really, really good feature of the metal bowl. And what is great about it is the fact that you can see through the lid.
Yes, definitely.
Because I know when I'm making things, I always want to be watching it. I want to be seeing what's happening because I'm excited for my food, my end product. So I always love the fact that you can see through the lid. So you said that you do like sort of lime marmalade, right?
Yeah. So that's what we're going to try tomorrow.
Differ in how you do it?
No, so do it the exact same way. The only thing is getting your pith out of limes is really, really tricky. But what I did do, the last lot of lime marmalade I made, I just took all the juice out, and there were tiny little pips in there, took those out, but really not that much to compare to oranges at all. And then rather than trying to get all the pith out, I just sliced it all up. Now I'll use the Magimix, but I just sliced it all up, and actually it worked really well. I didn't need to get all that pith and everything out to put into a separate muslin, because it still set it really nicely. So but next time I'll do it in this and let you know how it goes. But you know what I loved about this yesterday? I had to go and see someone and about some work, so I left this running for an hour and a half at home so I could walk away and leave it. Never ever can you normally walk away and leave jam ever. It's just too dangerous.
Not on the stove, no.
Never ever. So I could just leave this, and it was absolutely grand. And then I came back, and then I added the sugar, and then I had to go and get the boys from school, and it came back, it was done. It was very nice. It was very handy.
So even if you do, like, let's just say go for a walk and you leave it and you end up getting back a little bit late, what's good about the dual walled bowl is it keeps the heat in there, so it's going to stay warm for up to 2 hours. So even if you miss it by an hour or two, like, you're fine. And the induction heat that you get from this can actually go up to 160 degrees. Yeah. So we have a stir fry mode where you can get up to 160, and the expert mode you can get up to 140. So we actually have 13 preset programs. So you can do stir fries, simmering. I don't know what other things have you done in the Cook Expert bowl? Like mashed potato, pastry,
chocolate brownies, bolognese sauce we did.
Yes.
So
that was very nice.
That was very nice.
Yes.
And lemon curd.
Oh yeah, the lemon curd.
Lemon meringue pie we did.
The lemon curd is really good because you just put all of your ingredients in. And I know when I'm doing it at home and doing a bain-marie, I used to stand there and I'm getting steam on my hands and I'm burning myself. And this, you just weigh all of the ingredients straight into the bowl and set it to go, and you've got your lemon curd.
And you can eat it straight from the bowl.
It's perfect. Straight out of the bowl. Do that.
I don't double dip.
So if we talk about the jam funnel that we have, so we have some jars that we sterilised. So once we've incorporated our pectin into this marmalade, we're going to use this funnel to make sure that we're not getting drips of marmalade all down the side. And it's really great for jams and marmalades and anything with hot sugar.
Yes.
And it makes things really sticky and it's just really hard to clean. So these funnels are really great. We also have a pouring spout on the thermal bowl, so you can pour straight from the bowl into this funnel and it's going to be absolutely fine. I know if there's quite a lot of marmalade in there, so if it is too heavy, just use a spoon to start with, but yeah, it's really up to you.
So I use the ladle to start with, but if you're going to use a ladle or a jam funnel, always a good idea to have that sterilised as well. So just boil a kettle and pour boiling water over your jam funnel and over your ladle, because it just means then that your marmalade won't, go get mould on it or anything, because jars have to be sterilised and the lids need to be sterilised. Just put them in the dishwasher even.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I put mine in a hot oven.
Yes, to dry off.
Yeah. So I'll show you this now. So you can see, it smells really lovely.
So good.
You can see how dark it's got and how it's really like taken on the sugar. The pectin has been incorporated. So if I just show you how this pours. So straight into my jar. And I'm always one for an overfiller. I always overfill. So there.
Yeah, because some people fill right up to the top, put the lid on and flip the lid and flip the jar, and then that means that it's all sealed. Some people just put a lid straight on, some people put the wax disc on, whatever is easiest for you.
Do you use wax discs?
Yeah, but you know why? Because my granny did and my great aunt did. That's actually the only reason, because tradition. I love a tradition.
Don't we all? Yeah, and you've got to stick with your traditions of your family.
And the waxy side has to, if you do use wax discs, use the waxy side to put onto the preserve.
So if we just grab, we've got a bit of toast, and we'll show you how our set marmalade, so this has been set for 48 hours. And so if we just move this out of the way, maybe a little bit. So if I open this jar, you can see, I hope you can see how set it is. So it's not pouring out anymore, as this was really pourable. And if you want to just spread some marmalade on the toast.
I love marmalade.
And you can see how spreadable it is.
Can I just say as well, with the jam sugar, it's kept the gel really, really nice and bright and not at all. You're going to have a wee bit.
Okay,
go for me.
Go on then, I'll have some. Can't resist.
It's beautiful. Sorry, I shouldn't really put the knife in again, but it's just got such a beautiful set. It's really lovely, and the shred isn't too big, it isn't too small. I'm sorry.
It's just got a really, really lovely smell, and it's really fragrant and still got that orangey, citrusy thing to it. Right,
I'll tell you what else. Marmalade recipes. Don't be put off by putting marmalade into savoury recipes or into sweet recipes. All it does is adds an extra kick, orange kick, to whatever you're going to make. So should it be a cheesecake? Should it be marinating chicken, marinating pork? You can use it in so many different ways. Put it through butter, have it with baked apples. There's so many ways to use marmalade, not just to put on your toast. But this is very nice. Thank you very much, Naya.
Yeah, my favourite way to have marmalade is just on toast with butter, nice and warm toast. But yeah, that's really, really good. And I really do think you guys should give this a try. Have a look at the Facebook group, the community, and join in. There's loads of inspiration on there. If you don't have a cook expert yet, go and have a look. See what you can get, see what recipes you might want to try at home and what's great for your family. And we'd love to see you back here again. I'm sure we'll get Cherie back. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Naya. It's been great. I've loved it, loved it.
Let us know if you make this marmalade. Send us some pictures. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.